Thank you for joining me today for a yoga flow. This flow is appropriate for our pregnant mamas or beginner yogis, or if you're a more advanced yogi and you're looking for something a little bit more gentle, this would be great for you. We'll do some strengthening moves and some more stretching, relaxing moves. We'll get started in an easy seated pose. And let's get going. Setting the hands on the knees, closing the eyes, taking a deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Doing that 2 more times. Finding natural breathing. Noticing if you're leaning forward or back and finding center, shoulders back, chest open, sit bones grounding down, tilting the pelvis under slightly and engaging the core muscles. Taking a moment here to set your intention for your practice. With your intention set, bring the hands to the heart. Blink open the eyes. Inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale the right hand down. Inhale, reach and lengthen through the left fingertips. And exhale deeper to the right. Keeping the sit bones grounded. Take 2 more breaths here. Keeping the left shoulder rolling back, chest opening towards the sky, shoulders away from the ears. Inhaling back to center, both arms reach. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, reaching through right fingertips. Exhaling deeper to your left. Inhale back to center, both arms reach. Exhale the hands down in front of you, gentle forward fold, let the head and shoulders melt. And make your way forward into tabletop. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. Tucking the toes, dropping the belly, shoulders back, chest open. Inhaling here and exhaling to cat, tucking the toes, or untucking the toes, tops of the feet press. Chin into the chest, belly button sucking in, spine towards the sky. Moving through cow and cat a few more times to warm up the spine. way back to center at tabletop and starting to make some gentle hip circles. You can walk the hands forward a little bit if that feels better for the wrists. We're sticking to one direction for now, making some circles bigger and bigger. Now switching it around to the other direction, starting smaller and getting bigger and bigger. Coming back to center to tabletop. Again, setting up your alignment. Reaching the right arm forward and the left leg back. Good, finding your balance here. Sucking the belly button in, tucking the pelvis. Keeping the breath flowing. 3 more breaths here, trying to keep the limbs up in line with the body, parallel to the floor. Last inhale, reach. Exhale, place them down and switch. Right leg, left arm. Engage those core muscles. Keep the breath flowing, keep the face soft. Three more breaths, keep it strong. Next exhale brings them down. Wiggle out the hips side to side. And open up the knees wide, send it back to a wide-legged child's pose. Taking a few deep breaths here to let the spine lengthen. Let the shoulders melt, let the hips sink towards the heels. Reconnecting to your intention. Next inhale, back up to tabletop. Setting up side plank on the right side. So keeping the right hand down, pivoting the right leg back. And we're setting up a modified side plank with the left arm reaching up, left toes facing towards the side of the mat. If you're feeling pretty strong, you can extend the right leg straight, bringing the feet together. It's totally up to you. You can also lift the left leg for a little more of a challenge here. Keep the breath flowing and make sure you're not dumping down into this right hand. Keep the energy lifting upwards. Core muscles engaged. Feel the ribs lifting away from the floor. One more inhale here. As we exhale, we're coming up to gate pose. So coming up, supporting ourselves with that back leg. Sliding the left hand down, the left leg reaching the right arm up and over. Deep breaths into the right side of the body. Think about opening the chest towards the sky, rolling the right shoulder back. Inhale back to center. And exhale that right hand down again. Now we're coming all the way down onto the right side. Bringing the right forearm down. bending the knees, stacking them on top of each other. Coming up for an even more supported side plank. Lifting the hips away from the floor. And you should be feeling some support happening here in this shoulder, but if it's too much, like if this hurts your shoulder, Mom, you can definitely come down. Make sure you're listening to your body. Again, if you want more of a challenge, you can extend the legs straight. But I'm staying right here. Take a few more deep breaths. Feel the hip lifting, rib cage lifting, sucking that belly button in. Maybe reaching the left arm up. Then gently releasing all the way down. Now we're sliding out to support the head in the hands. And extending the left leg straight and all the way up. Flexing the toes and pointing the toes. Starting to warm up that hamstring. Keep the toes pointed now. Slowly lower the leg down. Setting up clamshell. Both knees bent again. We're starting with our regular version of clamshell. Toes and heels touching. Knees start together and we'll do 10. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. I'll let you count them on your own for 10. Be just about finishing up, and then we're setting up for broken clamshells, lifting the foot so there's space between the feet, and same motion, opening up the hip, closing it. We'll take 15 of these. You should feel that squeezing in the hip and glute. Keeping the belly button sucking in and core engaged. Should be on those last couple ones now. Releasing and carefully pressing yourself up, keeping those knees bent. Just take a little stretch up and over to your left. Releasing down, and we're setting up our side plank on the other side. I'm just turning so that I'm not facing my back to you guys. Starting with the plank on your hands and the knee and shin. Reaching the right arm up, maybe lifting the right foot up in line with the body. Keeping the breath flowing. Core muscles tight. 2 more breaths here. As we exhale, we'll bring it up to gate pose, reaching up and over. Opening up the left side of the body this time, breathing into the left ribs. down, all the way down to a more supported side plank. Supporting yourself with the left forearm, bending both knees, and lifting the hips away from the floor. You can keep the fingertips down, bring the hand to the hip, or reach the arm up. Make sure you're keeping that breath steady. Keep lifting yourself up away from the floor. One more inhale, lifting. Exhale, release. Take it all the way down, support the head in the hands. Extend the top leg straight and up. Point and flex. Start to feel those hamstrings opening up. Keep it pointed, slowly lower with control. And set up for clamshell. Feet touching this time. Knees together, and we'll take 10. Squeezing the glutes. This is going to help open up the hips and strengthen those muscles on the outside of the hips and the glutes. Finishing up your 10 clamshells, setting up broken clamshells, feet separated, 15 feet. Finishing up that 15, releasing and pressing yourself up carefully. Just reaching the left arm up and over. And coming back to center. Good. Bring it back to tabletop. Walk the hands forward, a couple of handprints, knees together, send the hips all the way over to the left side. Looking over your right shoulder, feel that opening down the left side of the body, breathe into that. Bringing it back to center. Over to the right. Inhaling back to center, separating the knees and sending the hips up and back to downward face. Pedaling out the feet here. Finding 2 breaths in stillness, sending the hips high and the heels low. Now inhaling, right toes up. Exhale, right foot forward and back foot turns to find warrior 1. Arms up, hips squared forward. Back heel down. Grounding down into the feet, lifting up through the spine, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Bringing the weight into the front foot. Find your balance. Lift off the back foot and bring the left knee up into your chest. Take a couple of breaths here. Finding stability, finding a drishti. Now sending it back to airplane, arms out like wings, pointing the left toes back, working to bring the body parallel to the floor. One more inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the front knees, step back, warrior one. Hands down to frame the front foot. Step it back to downward face. Two breaths, reset. Inhale, left toes up. Exhale, left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it up, find stability for a few breaths. Bringing the weight into that front foot. Lift off the back foot. Bring the knee into the chest. Find stability. With control, send it to airplane. Bending that front knee, step it back to warrior one. Carefully lowering the hands down. Stepping back to downward face. Two breaths, pedal it out, reset. Gently lower the knees down and take a child's pose, wide-legged or sleeping child. Reconnecting to your breath and your intention. Walking the hands back towards you. And we're taking the feet, we're tucking the toes in the other direction. Setting up a wide-legged yogi squat. The heels can be lifted if they need to. You can keep the fingertips down if you need more support. Do what feels right for your body and take a few deep breaths here. Thinking about sending the tailbone down and the top of the head is reaching up, opening the chest, lengthening the spine, and letting the hips spread apart. One more inhale here. Exhale, fingertips down, hips up into a forward fold. You can bend and straighten a couple of times. Then we'll take a slow roll up to standing, keeping the knees slightly bent. And until you're all the way back up to standing, and we're setting up warrior two with the right leg forward. So I'm going to turn so I don't have my back to you. Right foot forward, left foot walks way out so you have a nice big wide stance. Open up the arms, hips are open to your left. Bending into that front knee, making sure that the front knee stays stacked over the ankle. Feel your feet grounding down. Feel the strength of the glutes and the legs. Spine lifting, chest open, shoulders back. Good. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, exalt, up and back. Bringing your left hand to your belly or down the left leg or behind the back. Whatever feels best. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Keeping that front knee stacked over the ankle, legs strong. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, straighten and reach. 2 more times like that. Inhaling down. Exhale, reach. Inhale, down. Exhale, reach. We'll stay here, turning the right toes in so all the toes are facing the side. Arms come down, back to a T. Keep the back flat as you fold forward. Nice wide-legged forward fold. You can let the knees bend if you need to. Slide the hands down the legs and bring them to the floor. Taking a few deep breaths here, letting the upper body feel heavy, sending the top of the head towards the floor and the tailbone high. Let the knees bend slightly and take a slow roll up. Back to standing, back to that straight spine, setting up warrior two on the other side. Left knee bends, widen that stance. Arms out like a T. Check that the front knee is stacked over the ankle, but it's not going past it. Deep breaths here, shoulders stacked over the hips. Feeling the legs working. Always keeping the core engaged. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, exalting back. For a few deep breaths here. Inhaling back to center, and we'll pump these warriors, exhaling up, inhaling down, 2 more. Bring it back up, turn the left toes in, second set of that wide-legged forward fold. This time, if you want to add a shoulder opener, you can interlace the fingers behind the back or hold opposite forearms or elbows. Shoulders back, chest open. And begin to fold forward carefully, keeping that spine nice and long. Listening to your hamstrings, let the knees bend if they need to. Taking 2 more deep breaths here, head heavy. Release the fingertips. Let the hands slide down the legs. Again, hands all the way down to the floor. Bend and straighten those knees a few times. Now we're turning the toes out so we can come up to goddess pose. Turning the toes all the way out. Grounding down into those feet, hands on the hips. And bring it halfway up. Bring the hands to the inner thighs. And start to roll those thighs back, opening the knees and the hips, sinking even deeper into that goddess stance. Let the right shoulder dip down towards center. Switch. Do that again, one on each side. Good, now bring the spine straight up, goddess arms. Sink those hips down. There should be a little burn happening. Take 2 deep breaths. Inhale, starfish pose. Find some relief. Let the hands come down to the hips and carefully bring yourself down all the way to the floor to find a seated position. Alright, we're coming into caterpillar pose, starting to cool down now. Let the knees bend, let the ankles roll out to the side. Feet are nice and wide. Walk the hands forward between the feet. Let the upper body just completely relax down. Now taking caterpillar into butterfly, bottoms of the feet together. Just here for a couple of breaths. You can bring the heels closer to your hips for more of a hip opener, or further away to feel it more in your back. Coming up to a tall seated position and taking the legs into fire log. So the right leg on the bottom, left leg stacked on top. Depending on your hips, this could look different for you. If you have a really, really big space between the knee and the foot, you can put the top leg in front instead of on top. Make sure that the knees feel okay with this. And try to bring your shins as close to being parallel to the top of your mat as possible. You can sit tall here, or for more intensity, you can start to fold it forward. Just 3 deep breaths to help release the hips. Bringing it back up if you're folded. Carefully switching sides So left leg is on the bottom now, right leg stacks on top or in front. Checking your alignment, checking in with the knees. There shouldn't be pain, just discomfort, that's okay. You should feel definitely some tightness in the hips here. You can stay sitting tall or choose to fold it forward if you want extra intensity, but never forcing anything. Carefully coming back up to a straight spine. Releasing the legs, using your hands to help. And windshield wipering side to side. For a little more of that hip release. Do this a few times back and forth. And try to make it a little dramatic. So when your knees are to one side, look over the opposite shoulder. Let your head drop back. Same for the other side. So you get a little more of a twist into the spine and an opening for the shoulders. When you're ready, bring it back to center. And we're sliding down into Shavasana. So if you're pregnant and you're not comfortable on your back, you can lie down on your left side. If you're early in your pregnancy or you're not pregnant, you're welcome to lie down on your back. Finding your position where you're comfortable. Giving yourself as much time as you need to let the body settle. Bringing yourself back to the intention that you set. Allowing every breath to get slower and softer. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. When you are ready to come up, carefully bring yourself into a seated position. Taking your time. And closing with the hands at the heart, thanking yourself for taking this time. I thank you for letting me guide you through this practice. Thank you, Mom, for joining me in this practice. Thank you. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.